The Death of Robin Hood. Yes, that's right, folks. The new film from pseudo-acclaimed director Michael Sarnowski. You might have seen some of his other works. He did the Quiet Place prequel Day One. I don't think I talked about it on the channel. It's a pretty good movie. He also did Pig. What if Nicolas Cage needed to find his truffle pig? Fantastic movie. Well, I guess this is kind of him returning to the world of IP. Can you call Robin Hood IP? I don't really know. But does this movie only get made if it's called Robin Hood? Do you say the death of a different person, like someone that's not real? Does it still work, like just some random bandit or some random person? I don't know. Maybe Robin Hood is the way that this gets made, which I guess is fun. It opens up a conversation I think we should have, which is, what is the cultural relevance of Robin Hood today? Do people, or do kids, I should say, even though this is like a movie for adults, do young people know Robin Hood? I think last year I showed my partner The Adventures of Robin Hood, the Errol Flynn movie. And her thought was like, oh, it's like that scene from Shrek. So, is the only cultural staying power that Robin Hood has today an appearance in Shrek? Maybe. I don't think it's a character that people talk about. Yes, there's the sexy fox. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's the cartoon ones, because I just don't know. Like, young people today don't care about the Mel Brooks movie or the Errol Flynn movie, so I don't know what it is. Nonetheless, here we go. A dark, gritty, disturbed takedown of the man known as Robin Hood. It's about time somebody went that route. We used to whip out a Robin Hood movie every 10 years. Taron Egerton was the last one to do it. Before him was Kevin Costner. Before him was... oh no, it was Russell Crowe and then Kevin Costner, right? Yeah, so there's always one of them. There's always one of these movies coming out, right? For some reason. Nonetheless, this is the last one. It's about the death of Robin Hood. It stars Hugh Jackman as Robin Hood. He's a grizzled old man, ambiguously aged between 60 to 98. And he is just on his last legs. He gets invited to do one last mission by Little John. And it turns into Robin Hood getting mutilated and destroyed, taken to like a convent for like this community where they take care of people until his past comes back to haunt him. Yeah, you've seen this movie a million times. It is just Unforgiven with Robin Hood. It is literally the movie Logan, right down to there being like a young girl that has a bow and arrow that resembles the main character. It's not really clever. It's not like a clever takedown of the Robin Hood mythos. It could be. And I think that just depends like what you want from these characters and this world. Like saying like the history books and the tales, they have it all wrong. Robin Hood wasn't actually this like swashbuckling good guy who did the right thing. He was abandoned and a criminal. He murdered people, and there was consequences for everything that happens in it. I see how you'd want to do that take. It is fine. Like, there's nothing dumb or stupid about presenting that world, because in reality, that's probably very accurate. Robin Hood maybe had good intentions if he was a real person or whatever. Perhaps he went about it in a way that wasn't perfect, so it was perceived as like evil, or he saw himself as evil. Nonetheless, it's not like finally someone's deconstructing Robin Hood. There's not enough there to really deconstruct. So you're just kind of like making things up whole cloth about like what this guy really is. And that's, I don't know, that might work for some people. It might be an interesting thing to see. But I have seen a million times over in movies, including movies starring Hugh Jackman. I'm an old man, and maybe the heroic things I thought I did in the past aren't actually the things that I did. How do I reconcile with like my mortality and getting old when all I've done was cause destruction? Am I allowed to find peace in this part of my life? Should I find peace? What am I supposed to be? How am I supposed to handle myself? I've seen it, man. I've seen it numerous times. So it's not that interesting to present that concept. You're not really breaking new ground, you know? Where it does work is Sarnowski's directing. He knows how to make a good-looking movie. I think it would be impossible for him to make an ugly movie because he's very capable and confident behind the camera and is doing some really cool stuff. Shot on real locations, really gritty, really grimy, like the world looks lived in and feels lived in. and behaves like it's from a different era, which it is. It's like the, 12th, 13th century or whatever. People look like they're supposed to be there. Like, no one looks like they are from like a modern era. You got the right actors to fit into this world, and that's pretty cool. Maybe Hugh Jackman would be the weakest point of it, but, I think for the most part he can blend in because they got so much shit on him. It helps if he just looked clean shaven the whole time. You'd be like, yep, there's the Sheep Detectives. There's the guy from Sheep Detectives. I don't know. Like, I was really interested in, like, the story it was presenting. And maybe it's because I am interested in this story. And I don't even mean in terms of, like, oh, who really was Robin Hood? I'm a sucker for, like, an old man looking back on the choices he made and trying to understand if he lived a full life, if he's happy with himself, and can he find peace before he dies. I love that stuff. I think it's very interesting. We don't really see it in this aesthetic, where it's just, like, this old school world where there's just people on horseback and they have to row big boats to get everywhere. People are dying of leprosy and women join the convent because that's how they can, like, escape the world. Like, it is an interesting place to set this story in. And it does make sense. And I guess that's why it's Robin Hood, because you can, like, understand enough of, like, the mythos of him to consider the choices for good or bad. It just really doesn't add anything to the story that this is Robin Hood, which is just why it feels like the namesake of the movie as opposed to telling the story of this guy. The script is fine. Like, it again is hitting all the beats you know. This young girl's going to learn a lesson and maybe understand things through the lens of Robin Hood. This woman's going to have to step up and go against her past to help this ailing man, It's so common, so obvious. There is some interesting action sequences, though, which are graphic and violent, and I think really helps sell, like, the setting, like, this is a man who wants to die. So that stuff is pretty good. I appreciate it, at least for that stuff. And then, just for the most part, the world is cool. Like, it's confident in itself. It knows what it's trying to say. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It has thoughts that it's generally trying to get out, which I think are kind of interesting. A lot of, like, just repeating facts, though, just like saying the same thing again and again and again. But that's okay. This might be more in my wheelhouse because I was just thinking, I liked Logan, so I could see Logan again if we just want to do that story. It's very effective in the energy it's bringing, if a little cheap and dishonest about it. It's not presenting me with a feeling I haven't felt before in a movie or giving me something new. So maybe that's going to be annoying. I'm comfortable enough with it where I just think if this is what you had to do, if you want to make a Robin Hood story and this is what your takedown was, I'm like, fine. You're not impressing me, but I'm comfortable in it. It's probably Sarnowski's least interesting movie, which is weird because he made a Quiet Place film, which you'd think would be worse, but it's probably better than this one. Hugh Jackman's fine. Probably, like, the least interesting performance in it, just because you could easily slot a number of guys into that role and have it be the same. Jodie Comer continues to choose weird projects. I just want more from her, which is fine. This role is good enough. Like, she has enough to do. Gets some interesting lines, but is pretty much explaining the world more than she's doing anything else. And Bill Skarsgård, man, this guy just wants to talk in a weird voice in any movie he's in. Good for you, dude. Don't use your real voice in anything. He's Little John, which is, like, an interesting idea to present, and I think it works for the most part. It sets up the whole story, which I guess, like, if you really want to, like, play with the mythos, because you don't really see in any film Little John portrayed as, like, a kid, but we're saying, like, he was a kid when he met Robin Hood. So again, it's like this old man creates a monster. Can he live with himself for what he's done to the world? Can he change things with, like, Little John's daughter and have a lesson learned? It's fine. Murray Bartlett's pretty interesting in this. I like what he's doing here. So it's fine. It is fine and harmless and cute and comfortable in itself. If a little too, like, schmaltzy and kind of on the nose. But it does work for me. Like, I watched this knowing and feeling that I was going to get a very specific vibe from it. It's going to strike a very interesting chord that works for me most of the time. And while I don't think this is as brilliant as things like Unforgiven are, it's going for that same feeling, which is a comfortable world to exist in, and I was going like, oh, this is nice. Like, the camera's moving well, the costumes look good, people feel like they belong here. We are talking about old men dealing with stuff, which is a theme I enjoy. So I can't say it's gonna change the world or blow your mind, but it is kind of like an interesting thought piece about the state of our world and how we feel about the things in it, and are we proud of the world we left behind because of our actions, which is a universal theme. So, The Death of Robin Hood. I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, you can check me out in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.